Level 0. $0. Your account has no money. 0. You open the banking app and all you see is a big 0 with the words balance unavailable beneath it. In the bank's eyes, you exist, but you don't. Your name is in their database, but there are no transactions, no interest, no fees. You're like an empty room. When bank employees pull up your profile, they see nothing, no history, no pattern, no income, no spending, 0. And 0 means they move on without you. You walk into a branch that day and ask how to open an account. They tell you the minimum deposit is $500. You say you don't have that yet. They say come back when you do. None of your questions get answered. They're busy. There's another customer behind you. You walk back out. The bank doesn't even glance your way. At $0, you're a non-entity. $0 means zero importance. That day you realize the bank's doors are open to everyone, but their attention isn't. Level 1. -$4. This is the first time the bank looks at you. Not with affection, with alarm. A minus sign appears on your account. Just $4. A coffee you forgot to cancel. The bank immediately slaps a $35 fee on top. The fee is almost 9 times the cost of the coffee. You think this might be a mistake. But the system doesn't make mistakes. The system follows rules. And the rule says, if you go negative, you get penalized. You call. A robotic voice tells you to speak to a manager to request a fee reversal. You press 0 for 20 minutes to reach him. He picks up. He asks if you're aware that accounts incur fees when they go negative. You say yes, but it was only $4. He asks if you've read the fee policy. You fall silent. He hangs up. The fee stays. That day, the bank feels like a monster, with no face but plenty of teeth. Then another charge hits. A $7 subscription you forgot to cancel. The system sees you're already negative and adds another $35. Now, a $4 mistake costs you $77. You feel like the bank is angry at you, but the bank isn't angry, the bank just calculates. Level 2. +$200. You work overtime and bring your account back to $200. Now your balance is positive, but the bank is still worried about you because your average monthly balance is under $500. So the monthly maintenance fee hits $12. It pulls you back down. You apply for a credit card. The bank says you qualify for a secured card. That means you have to deposit $300 of your own money so they can lend you back $300 and charge you interest for the privilege. You realize the bank is borrowing your own money from you, then lending it back to you with interest. You decline. But then your car tire blows out on a Tuesday morning. You have no cash, no card, so you take the bus. You're 3 hours late to work. Your manager doesn't say anything, but his eyes ask a question. You don't have a car. You don't answer. At this level, the bank treats you like a ledger that gets updated regularly, but the last page is blank. You go to the branch to ask about the fee. The teller is smiling at the customer ahead of you, asking about their kids. When you step up, the smile disappears. It becomes professional, distant. She processes your request in 40 seconds, doesn't ask if you need anything else, doesn't tell you to have a nice day. You walk out feeling like you weren't a person, just a file number. Level 3, $2,000. Now the bank sees you a little differently because you have direct deposit. Every 2 weeks, $1,600 hits your account. It's consistent. It's a pattern. Banks love patterns, so they waive your monthly fee automatically. You notice the banking app now shows pre-approved offers. A credit card with a $2,000 limit. You apply. Approved in 2 minutes. For the first time, you feel qualified in the bank's eyes. But when you walk into the branch, the teller still doesn't recognize you. She asks for your account number. You give it. Her eyes widen slightly. Then she asks if you're here to make a deposit. No, you're here to ask about fee refund policies. She says she doesn't know. Check the website. At this level, the bank sees you, but doesn't remember you. It's a half recognition phase. Like a teacher who knows your name, but not your face. You step outside and stand on the sidewalk. Across the street is a coffee shop. You think about how a $4 coffee brought you this far. You still don't know this is just the beginning. Level 4, $15,000. Your account is stabilized. Your credit limit increased to $9,500 without you asking. The system decided you could handle it. You're looking to buy a car. The dealer runs your credit. The rate comes back at 6.8%. A few months ago, it would have been 11%. Money just got cheaper for you. Then one day you spot a $32 fee on your statement. You email your manager. Within 3 hours, it's reversed. Just a reply that says, taken care of. No forms, no phone trees, no scripts. You realize that at $15,000, the bank no longer sees you as inactive. You're now an active client. They're not exactly celebrating you, but you've become useful to them. Now the bank starts sending you emails with your name spelled correctly. Subject lines include your first name, small touches, personalization. The bank is courting you now. Not aggressively, subtly, the way you treat someone you don't want to lose. And you realize something that was hidden from you at every level below this one. The bank wasn't cruel when you were broke. The bank was indifferent, and indifference at scale looks exactly like cruelty. Level 5, $80,000. Your name is now on the bank's preferred client list. Every statement says, "Welcome to our valued client." The bank assigns you a relationship manager. His name is David. David knows you have a sister in Chicago because you mentioned it once in a conversation 9 months ago. He emails you on your birthday, not automated. He writes it himself. The bank trains him to remember small things because small things keep accounts. When you walk into the branch, staff stand up to greet you. You don't wait in line. You sit in David's office, sip tea, and learn that the bank has already pre-approved you for a $400,000 mortgage. The bank is now working with you to beat out competitors. David says, "We want you to stay." This is the first time the word "we" from the bank sounds human. You get a letter in the mail, not for a credit card, for a mortgage. The bank decided what you could afford before you even decided to buy a house. Money is no longer something you negotiate, it's something offered to you. You mentioned to David that another bank made a better offer. He calls back within an hour with a counteroffer. The institution that ignored you for years is now competing to keep you. The bank doesn't see you as preferred at $80,000. The bank sees you as worth defending. Level 6, $500,000. David no longer emails. He calls. And when he calls, he's not asking how you are. He's asking when you'd like to meet his colleague from wealth management. The colleague drives to your office. Not the other way around. He brings printed reports in a leather folder. He asks about your goals, your timeline, your tax structure, your estate plans. The conversation lasts 90 minutes, and at the end, he doesn't try to sell you anything. He just leaves a card and says he'll send a follow-up. The selling already happened, you just didn't notice it. You're no longer being offered products. You're being consulted. There's a difference. A product is something the bank wants you to buy. A consultation is something the bank wants you to need, and needing them is worth more over time than buying from them once. You call about a frozen wire transfer. Someone picks up on the second ring. No hold music, no script. The problem is fixed in the same conversation. The same call would have taken 3 hours and 4 transfers at $2,000. You attend a private dinner hosted by the bank. 8 clients, a guest speaker, a view of the city you've never seen from that angle. Nobody mentions money the entire night. Money is the table, not the conversation. At $500,000, you're not a customer, you're an asset they protect. Level 7, $5 million. The bank no longer feels like a bank. It feels like your family office. You have a private banker who manages fewer than 20 accounts. Yours is one of them. He knows your children's names. He knows about the foundation you're thinking of starting because you mentioned it over coffee last March. Your mortgage rate isn't published, it's negotiated. The minimum investment on a private deal is waived because the relationship justifies it. Paperwork that takes a regular customer 2 weeks gets handled in 48 hours because someone was told whose account it is. You walk into a branch you've never visited before, and they know your name before you sign anything. The system has flagged you across every location, not because of fame, but because of position. You exist in a database that prioritizes you before you ask. You sit in a conference room with no logo on the door. The table is a single piece of wood. The deal being discussed is a private investment that won't appear on any prospectus. The room exists because clients like you exist. The room only opens when the relationship justifies it. The bank doesn't follow rules at $5 million. The bank bends them for you. Level 8, $25 million. At this level, the bank no longer gives you products. The bank gives you advice. Your opinion can shape the bank's strategy. The chief investment officer asks for your view on emerging markets. The head of private banking flies out to ask what products the next tier of clients should expect. A part of the bank's existence now depends on your account. The people who work with you have your name listed in their performance reviews. They know that losing you would affect their careers, so they stay close to you at every step, sometimes ahead of you, sometimes behind. You don't apply for anything. Investment opportunities come to you before they're made public. Deals are structured around your participation before you've agreed to participate. The real shift isn't access, it's influence. You're no longer a customer, you're a partner. Your name appears at the top of every document, not as client, but as partner. The bank doesn't just serve you, the bank consults you. The CIO wants your perspective. The head of private banking flies in to ask what new clients should expect. You're shaping the institution that once charged you $35 for being broke. The bank doesn't have a customer at $25 million, the bank has a partner, and the partner has a name, yours. Level 9, $50 million. Now the bank is no longer an institution, it's a security perimeter around your wealth. You have a team of bankers, a lawyer, a tax specialist, an investment advisor. They review your portfolio every morning. They're ready whenever you need them. If you say, I want to buy a vineyard in Europe, they come back with 3 options within 24 hours. The bank's CEO has dinner with you once a year. That dinner isn't about money, it's about perspective, vision, influence. Because your money is part of the bank's business, but your thinking is part of the bank's future. When you call, someone picks up on the first ring. No hold music, no transfers. Just a person who says, we're here for you. That phrase at $0 was empty. At $50 million, it's reality. At this level, the bank treats you like a board member. They listen to your opinions, seek your advice, learn from your perspective. You are no longer a customer, you are part of the bank's future. Final lines. Right now, somewhere in the world, there's a person whose account reads -$4. They're wondering why the bank does this. They don't yet know the bank hasn't changed. The bank has always been the same. It just looks at your balance and decides who you are. At every level, the bank isn't with you, the bank is with your money. When your money grows, their hand extends. When your money shrinks, they pull back. You remain the same person. The bank doesn't change. The bank only reveals what it always was. A $4 mistake costs $35. A $50 million opinion is priceless. Same institution, same people, same rules. Only the balance is different. And that balance decides how visible you are, how important you are, how human you appear to them. The day you realize the bank never worked for you, it always worked for itself, is the day you rise above their rules. But until then, the bank will look at your balance to determine your worth. And this story isn't just about America. It's about every bank in every corner of the world. Because wherever money goes, the bank's true face emerges. And it's never beautiful, it's only honest.